Speaking of leg problems, if you have any ailments, visit Pop Shop's medical service, located behind Walmart on 5th Street. Myself, I was an adventurer once. Then I took an arrow to the knee. Pop was able to get the arrow out and kinda patch me up. Now I'm able to lean on this wooden pole and ask travelers for golden coins and tell my story. Thanks, Pop. Back to our regular scheduled show.
Oh my goodness.
So
It's just crazy.
So that right there presents a good statement on that. It's not just, oh, no, you thought about it wrong, and so did you, and so did, a million other people.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about stuff that's in movies, songs, I mean, everything.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Just like a Smooth Criminal. Remember that one? You've been struck by, apparently.
A smooth criminal.
That never happened.
Yeah.
So
I don't know about that. I don't know. I have heard that song so many times.
Yep.
And
I even watched the movie.
Remembered it saying Smooth Criminal.
Yep.
I don't know.
Let me see if I can find the actual effect for it.
It's crazy. There's so many different ones. We haven't even covered a fraction of them. There's so many memories that people think are completely different, and oh my goodness. There's another one that just popped up that I clearly remember. So, Scooby-Doo, the show Scooby-Doo, the character Shaggy, back in the animated original version, Shaggy had an Adam's apple that would bounce up and down, like when he swallowed or something along those lines, when he was like, gulp. He doesn't have an Adam's apple now.
Wait, what?
I know! I just found that. Oh my gosh. Okay. I clearly remember that.
Well, I know this is going to be a subject for another time, but like what Adam was saying with the whole simulation theory, researchers now, I mean, because obviously, Microsoft, Microsoft gets more powerful. Yeah, that's a whole topic in itself. But no, there's like researchers. I have to find it again. I had a bookmark, but somehow I lost my bookmark. Whatever. they've actually been able to zoom in far enough where they actually found error. They said that they found error correcting code, like computer code, in molecules.
What?
Wait,
That's insane.
Yeah,
I've
they
never
actually
heard that.
found
That is
computer-
crazy.
They actually found it. That's why I'm trying to find it right now.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, scientists have actually played around the theory using DNA for computer code. They actually have a scientist
Mhm.
that wrote "Hello World" in bacterial DNA.
Wow.
But yeah,
Hmm.
I was
That's
trying
some
to find it.
interesting stuff. This is crazy. Wow.
So yeah, so I mean, I'm not saying that like, oh, simulation theory is a thing. I mean, you could, if you try hard enough, you can tie anything to anything.
Mhm,
It's one
absolutely.
it's one plausible cause to the Mandela effect. The other
Mhm.
thing is like Adam said, there was the super collider turning on, and us getting pulled into an alternate reality, alternate universe, because our universe went kaboomy.
Yeah.
That could be another topic for another thing, especially like when they started playing around with the super collider, and people
Mhm.
were starting to see like weird like portal things opening over the
Mhm.
site that it's at and all that stuff. So
Yep.
there's many different things. A lot of people believe that the rise of the internet, and everyone being able to just have everything, is causing a lot of information, like people that are just doing art being crossed with actual things. And
Mhm.
it's not that people are lying, it's just that this information has gotten so distorted that people just take whatever it is now is how it was when it wasn't.
Yeah.
yeah, but that's a lot of reach to be looking in the same spot as millions of other people. Now, like, I don't know. I feel like I remember, and I also have a lot of deja vu. Also, that like I've been
Do too.
here, been
Mhm.
there, certain places, but
Mhm.
I don't know. You know, Stephen Hawking was it Stephen Hawkins said that
Mhm.
when they turn on the collider and they discover the God particle, that our world was going to end.
Mhm.
Maybe it did. Maybe it did.
Maybe it did it so fast that nobody realized it.
Yeah, but an explosion of that magnitude, right? You wouldn't even. You would be here 1 minute and gone the next. You wouldn't notice
Absolutely.
anything. So,
Mhm.
Well, just to give you an example, it takes your brain something like fifth of a second to recognize to realize that you're dead. So anything that happens,
Wow.
anything that happened, that's why people that get shot and killed don't realize they died.
Wow. I never knew that.
Because
That's
it
crazy.
takes longer for your brain to realize it's dead before. So anything that happened under a fifth of a second,
Mhm.
your brain doesn't register the fact.
Hmm. Now I'm wondering how quickly.
That's why pain, like if you burn your hand or if you stab yourself, you don't really notice it until you actually look at it. Your body like brings it to your thing, like, hey, I did something dumb here, like I chopped my hand off.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Which
I'm
is also
wondering,
why they
like,
have saws now that can, if it detect like a flick, they have saws now that are so accurate in that, so people don't do things like that, that if you brush like skin right up against it, it will actually turn off so fast it'll never break the skin.
wow.
That's
I didn't know.
how
That's
fast the
so
kill switch is
cool.
on those things.
Dang. I may have to invest in one of those if I get back into woodworking. Anyways,
so there was
so
a.
I'm wondering when. Go ahead, Adam.
Well, I'm about to go down a whole other rabbit hole. So,
Well, mine was back to the CERN, the Hadron Collider. I'm wondering if something like if this explosion actually did happen. How fast did it happen?
don't know. Continue.
Anyways, go ahead. Go ahead. That was just my one thought. You know. So.
Well, remember the Big Bang Theory happened within less than a fraction of a second.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, the effects radiated out through the universe,
Mm-hmm.
but it expanded at a rate of 41.4 miles per second.
Wow. That's insane. Absolutely insane.
But the thing is, the Big Bang wasn't a bang at all. It didn't explode. Like people think like this. It was like this. They think that the Big Bang Theory is like, I mean, outside the show, but that's a whole thing itself.
I love the Big Bang Theory, by the way. It's such a good show.
They think the Big Bang Theory is like this big explode, like the world, like the universe exploded, and then all of a sudden there were stars and galaxies and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was just a vast expansion of extremely condensed material. All it did was just spread out over the course of billions of years.
Okay.
You know, it's
That's
like a
why they
fart in
tell
a
us how-
car. It starts in the seat and moves its way on out.
Oh my goodness. That's why they tell us our batteries don't explode, they rapidly expand.
Exactly.
It's just spread across everywhere, and, you know, hope you don't get fried along the way.
So one of the kids said, so Stephen Hawking said that physics would be more interesting if Higgs boson hadn't been found. Physics would have been far more interesting if scientists had been unable to find the Higgs boson at the Large Hadron Collider in CERN, according to Stephen Hawking. But there was a kid. He was like supposed to be like the next prodigy, like next Einstein, right? And he came out and said it opened a portal, and then we died, and we just slid into another reality.
You're talking about Mr. Max Laughlin.
Yes, I am.
Yep. I think he was, 16 when he first came about, and this was back in, well, he disappeared in 2018, so it was prior to 2018 when he came out and was talking about just the Hadron Collider, and this kid was a genius. Yeah. Then he just disappeared, fell off the face of the earth. So, where did he go?
You know, I'm actually all for this. You know, that'd be cool. Alternate reality. We had a bit, you know, they turned on the Hadron Collider. We blew up. We're in the alternate universe. We at least did one that where Biden wasn't president. No, I'm just kidding. But
What the
Oh
dog
my
doing?
goodness.
Thing.
What the dog doing?
Well,
No, he was 14. My apologies. He was 14, but a genius.
my thing is though is why did we get sent to the reality where, like, you know, the Monopoly guy lost his glass? Why couldn't we send where we could, you know, like fly or some shit, you know?
Right? Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
A lot of that comes down to another theory where anytime that you make a decision, the whole alternate reality thing is that anytime you make a decision whether to go left, right, do I marry this person, do I divorce this person, do I eat nachos today, you know, whatever, that all other probabilities are also explored.
Yep.
So in another universe, you ate nachos. At one universe, you didn't eat nachos. In another universe, you had quesadillas, whatever, you know.
Isn't that like the butterfly effect or something?
Exactly, it's the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
So the chances are that in their theory that these universes run basically on different frequencies, almost kind of like your either car radio or different light waves, where if you kind of shifted a light
Mm-hmm.
slightly this way,
Yeah.
I'd have to look it back up, that you would be technically out of phase with our reality into another reality, and so on and so forth.
It's the idea that small things can have nonlinear impacts on a complex system.
Exactly.
It basically sums it up. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
so if that's the case, that would blow the string theory completely out of the water, because string theory states that there's only 12 other universes based on dark matter, antimatter, and crap like that. So if it is based on multiple choices, how many choices do you make in a day, right? So multiply that by, yeah, 7.5 billion people.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot of universes.
How can those 7.5 billion people have, well, if we're going back to the Mandela Effect, those 7.5 billion people have a memory that they remember, and then all of a sudden it's just different?
It's not that though. It's some part of the population, and then the other parts remember something completely different. So did we slide into other people's body? Did we just slide in? Were we even in this universe before? You know,
that goes down a completely different rabbit hole within itself.
I mean, we're talking about a whole lot of stuff right now, and Mandela Effect is just the beginning to all of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, you have people that are saying the more people like quantum mechanics and quantum computing and things like that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Where physicists, literally the smartest people on the planet, are saying, well, if you take away like time, where they're trying to say, well, they did a theory, well, what if time didn't exist? Well, if time doesn't, because you know how we measure time, like, you know, speed of light, things like that. Well, they took time, because time is something more man-made, created. That's more of like how we depict something from beginning to middle to end, because that's the way our brains work. So like we perceive time as like the start of the show, when we went live and started talking to all you fine folks out there in internet.
Oh, you beautiful people.
Yes. To the time where we end the show, we consider this a point in time, and these are the things that happen within that time frame. That's how our brains actually compartmentalize things, and that's how memory is stored. Well, time might not actually exist, but if you take time out of the equation, like a lot of things from like Einstein and like theory of relativity and other things actually start making more sense and are actually a lot more plausible, and the science behind it makes sense.
That makes me think of Star Trek, how they basically just go out, they don't care about time, they don't care about money. It's just they go explore.
They were military. They were military based, whether people like to admit that or not. You don't make massive warships and flagships if you're not military. So they were
absolutely,
but they were time based.
Armada.
Yeah, right. So, but they were time based, right? But so it goes back to the relativity theory, right? So the closer that you travel to the speed of light, the slower time slows down for you.
Yes.
It's really weird. And with Einstein and Rosenberg, the bridge, I mean, anything's possible. I mean, it's all relative, as that dude would say.
Anything's possible if you just believe. There's a lot of things that will really blow your mind if you sit down and delve into the subject.
People, I know it sounds, and guys, I know it sounds like we've went off the rails and we're just talking about completely different things.
No.
The thing is, it's not one thing as a sum of everything. Like the Mandela Effect is just part of people having false memories, or people or not saying people have false memories. People say it has false. false memories. I mean, honestly, we can't take the Mandela effect as something that is completely true. This is how it is. This is what it is. It's possible that with the advent of internet and everything, that people just really do just see this stuff so much, and everything gets so misconstrued that people are just misremembering true things with false things. And the mind is the easiest thing to trick. The closer that you're in on something, the easier it is to get fooled by something.
Yes.
That's why that's why they always say stand back and look at stuff objectively.
Mhm.
However,
Look at the big picture.
if you take all these different things that we've been talking about and put them together, it starts making other things make a lot more sense. Like you get, like scientists is about scientists. Okay, yeah, it's no amount of science is gonna be able to fix my inability to talk sometimes. But anyways, that's why scientists, they might not be able to. One theory, like, oh well, we can't go faster than the speed of light because the laws of physics prevent that. But if you take into account this and do XYZ, like NASA has proved, let's see, NASA warp bubble. Granted, it was microscopic, but NASA has actually implemented their first warp bubble where they can actually go faster than the speed of light.
Oh wow!
Well, technically, quote unquote, nothing is able to go faster. See, like I said, no amount of science can fix my talking.
It
was a DARPA-funded research experiment that they accidentally figured out how to travel faster than the speed of light.
Wow. It's amazing the technology that's out nowadays.
Careful.
Whether you know it or not.
that is another wormhole that we're about to go down. We follow that one.
Absolutely.
But the whole thing is you can take bits of everything and apply it to the Mandela effect. You can apply it to simulation theory, like how clouds can glitch, or you can experience deja vu, like where you feel like you've done it in completely whole day or a sequence of in a day. And the thing is, you'll actually remember how you did it too, which is kind of funny. Or how millions of people can remember the Monopoly dude having a monocle and a cane, which doesn't have a monocle for whatever reason. Or how in the movie Casablanca, or I'd have to look that one back up, but in the movie Casablanca, people remember sections of the movie and statements that were said in the movie that don't exist. Or the Bernstein Bears and the Bernstein Bears, or
Shaggy not having an Adam's apple.
Or
just
Shaggy not having an you can explain some of this, or Pikachu's tail. You can explain some of it. Like, we could probably explain away like Pikachu's tail to artist interpretation over the years, especially when they start remastering like older stuff to be more modern, so people can watch it better on modern like TVs and things like that. So some of the art stuff I can kind of see where some creative licensing might have altered the image over the course of a few years. But like with Pikachu and stuff, because I've seen it with tail. I can even find images where he's had black on tails and not black on tails. But like I said, that's up to artist interpretation. So I could probably almost give that one to the internet being weird. But you have entire people that literally like remember. And we're not talking that people would even have used the internet, like old people that are in their 80s that remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison.
Absolutely.
Like, these people wouldn't have had internet. These people would not have had access to internet at the time to be able to have their ideas be misconstrued by false information. So you can't exactly take everything as Well, it's the internet. Some things, yes, 100%. Guaranteed, I'm sure there's some that can be explained away due to this is just how it got done, like, or over time got whatever. The Mona Lisa one, I've never seen I've seen images of the Mona Lisa, but I've never been really that interested into it. So I've never really looked at the Mona Lisa that much. So I couldn't tell you if her smile was more pronounced or not, because I honestly have no frame of reference to like build that image on. I'll just be like, to me, like, I saw both of the images, and not gonna lie, it both looked the same to me. Like, seriously, it looked the same to me. And I'm not discontinuing the Mandela Effect. I mean, hold on. I'm just trying to look up something really fast, and trying to talk and type doesn't really actually work sometimes. But so I don't know, that's here or there. Or like Mirror Mirror on the Wall from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It was actually Magic Mirror on the Wall.
I remember Mirror Mirror.
I remember it. You remember it, and there's probably about a few 100 million Disney fans that probably remember it that way too.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, guys, that's going to be it for today on the Mandela Effect, Part 1. Join us on the next episode, Part 2, where we finish up talking about all the crazy effects that we experience. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to follow and like and subscribe. Leave feedback if you'd like. Have a wonderful day.
Shut up and sit down.